Good morning from a beautiful, crisp day in Charlotte, North Carolina. Welcome to Johnny Millwater's Happy Place. I'm your host, Johnny Millwater. I got a whole lot of fun stuff to share with you today. Let's start off by saying hi to our buddy Tony. He was here at the very beginning. This is his first time here for the countdown. I always like to do 5 minutes beforehand. I do my vocal exercises. I've always wanted to figure out how to make them a form of entertainment. Believe it or not, I do almost all of those before every single show. It's kind of a meditation for me, and I wanted to share it with people. So I figured they can tune in and listen, or they can not. That's kind of my philosophy in general. But thank you very much for noticing, and I'm glad you're here. I feel fantastic. Added a couple new things to the show today, and I'm always looking for suggestions how to make things more interesting for everybody. So I'm glad you're here, Tony. Let's head over to chat. Say hi. There it is right there. We got the standard wall, right? I'm going to expand that in the coming weeks and make it a little bit wider, easier to read. And of course, we have my favorite part, which is the highlight. I love the highlight because then I can read it on the screen. And it's easier for me. There we go. See? So we still got those, and I've added those to all the other screens. So the Shakespeare and the poetry, things like that. You're going to have a chance to continue chatting with each other while I do my stuff. It'll be fun. I think it's going to add to people getting involved. That's all I'm looking for. How you doing, Tony? How are things in beautiful Florida? In gorgeous I forget where you live. I'm sorry, Tony. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, in case you forgot. It's autumn. I didn't have an autumn one, but this spring one's pretty nice. It's not North Carolina, this Japanese maple, but you know what I'm saying. There's Japanese maples in North Carolina. But anyway, the way that it works for you folks talking at home, I keep talking to the chat till we run out of things to say. In this case, he said, you know your mic is on, right? I said, yes, I do. And he said, you take vocal exercises to marathon levels, triathlon, 2 things I've never, ever done. Doing 3 things at once. I can't even do the one thing. One marathon, unless I'm being chased. Hunted. I'd have to be hunted to run a marathon, I think. That would be about it. All right. But if I can't think of anything else to say, ran out of things to say to Tony, he'll type something in the chat in just a minute. But until then, let's go spin the wheel. All the things I love doing. Here we go. Whoops, I got to adjust this for a second. Uh-oh. Folks, we are experiencing a slight technical difficulty. Give me just a moment to adjust my wheel spinning apparatus. And here we go. You can see all those fun things of the wheel, the things I enjoy, but they're not, let's see, they're not, locked in stone. I can add things, change them around. Wisdom, always one of my favorites. Let's go down, see if we can't lay down some wisdom from on high. Uh-oh, give me the business. Uh-oh, it's doing a blinking light thing. I don't understand what's going on. Okay, folks, we got a little bit of a problem, but it's nothing we need to worry about. I think maybe the battery died. This is going to complicate things, ladies and gentlemen. But don't you worry, I am going to figure this out. And when I say ladies and gentlemen, I mean Tony. Here we go, we're down to the wisdom. Whoops. Supposed to be behind the gates. There we are. All right, good to know. A little hard to read on the right-hand side. I will keep that in mind. All right, but Tony said over here. Let's see. Good morning, Johnny. There you go. Good morning. Who said that? Who said that? I missed it. John, hey, good morning. All I see is the logo. I don't know your last name, but John, I'm very glad that you're here, and I appreciate you. I think you might be a first-time visitor, unless you're an old friend, and I didn't used to call you John. Hi, good morning. Thanks for being here. Your buddy Tony, he's in central Pennsylvania. He says hi, and he says he loves my chat, but that time delay is ridiculous. I don't know what to do about it. I truly don't. I'm going to move it on down to Twitch in the coming weeks as I keep threatening. I usually use this little thing here, right? And this thing has a roller on it, so I can move down the teleprompter and things like that. It's wonderful, but I think the battery died, and I think I'm going to have to figure something else out for the next couple of minutes. So let's try it this way and see how it goes. Today, we're learning the wisdom. Here we go. We love life, not because we're used to living, but because we are used to loving. That's from Friedrich Nietzsche. Here, we'll try one more. Actually, it is easier to create new things, new wealth, than compete with others for something that already exists. There is so much richness available to you, waiting just to be tapped by your mind, that it is a wasteful use of your energy to struggle for an area of wealth already claimed or sought by another. If you must have what someone else desires or already possesses, there is something seriously wrong with you and your emotional structure, which I seriously urge you to repair. That's from Joseph Weed, The Wisdom of the Mystic Masters. Now, while using my hand to move the thing, I feel like I'm shaking the camera a lot, but there's no way of telling for now. We're making it work. Dad's here! Yay! All right, let's go back to the chat. Wait, I got a shortcut for this. Wrong one. Oh, it's John Champion in Raleigh. Hooray! All right. Let's talk to some people here. All right, Tony said that. Danny said that. Central Pennsylvania, one of my favorite parts of Pennsylvania. Probably in the top 3 provinces of Pennsylvania. John, you're my buddy Champion. Wonderful, funny man from Raleigh. Thanks for saying hi. He had something nice. Dad has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. James Millwater, my father, is here to watch the show. He's the producer of the program, half the reason I do it. And John's in Raleigh, and he thinks it looks great, and that's very kind indeed. How was everybody's Thanksgiving? Tell me about it. Type it up in the chat over here, for crying out loud. I'd love to keep track of it with you. I didn't get to see my dad this Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, I was in North Carolina. It's not unfortunate. I got to spend it with family. I got to spend my Thanksgiving with my sister-in-law and her husband and their beautiful little daughter. She's 2 years old. She's adorable. Says she figured out how to say no, and she's trying to figure out everything else. And she just made me laugh and smile the whole time, and it was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. Hold on. Had turkey and stuffing and Keurig coffee and watched movies and had a great day, and wonderful to be around family. And oh, hey, I got something there. Tell us about the taping. That's lovely. I will. For those of you who are just tuning in, maybe you don't watch every week, John. I love being able to call people out by name when there's only 3 viewers. Oh, and he left. Okay, so my taping was the open bar taping in Sarasota, Florida. It was 2 weeks ago. I taped my new special, which is entitled Mostly Joking. It will be released in 2024 on the open bar platform, available wherever televisions are viewed. It was amazing. It was really great. I got to see Dad, first of all. I got to spend a couple hours at home with everybody and see my dad and my brother and his girl and his girl's daughter. And we just got to talk about life and be together, sit together in the chairs, which is kind of all we do when we hang out, but it makes me really, really happy. And then I went down to Sarasota, and the taping there was at McCurdy's Comedy Theater, which is an institution. It's been there for about 30 years. And the owner of the place, Les McCurdy, was actually taping a special that night as well. What they designed it as was 3 back-to-back 30-minute tapings, which makes up a 90-minute show, which is ideally what you want for a comedy show anyway. So it worked really well, not only as a live show, but also as a taping. The only thing that happened that made it tricky for me was as soon as I stepped out on stage, I was the first of the 3 of us to perform. It was me, then Les McCurdy, who was the owner of the club, and a lovely man who I'd never met before, and finally Tanya Lee Davis, who is an American institution and an unstoppable comedy force. I'm sure you know Tanya Lee Davis. If not, you should look her up. She's something special. Spelled Tanya Lee Davis. You could figure it out. And anyway, I did my half hour, but the first thing I did, after they introduced me, I walked up on stage, I tripped over the very first stair, I fell flat on my face. First thing I did, flat on my face. I ripped up my right knee, my pants leg, the underwear underneath, and my physical knee. And I just jumped right back up, and in complete denial, I still, Tanya Lee, that's about 10 seconds ago. That's not a bad lag this time. Hanging out with Tanya Lee on her birthday. But I jumped right back up. I was mortified, but I just pretended it didn't happen. And within the first 45 seconds of my material, I completely forgot that it happened. I didn't think about it again until I got off stage. And everything worked. Every joke, every segue. The audience was locked and loaded and focused, and they loved stand-up. They laughed. They were sated perfectly. It's just a really, 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 really well-run club. So you couldn't go wrong. It was just 30 minutes of killer. And then Les went up and he did 30 minutes of killer. And Tanya Lee went up and got 30 minutes of killer. And she got a standing ovation, as well she should. And then at the end, I got to do something I haven't done in a long time. We were doing meet and greets. I wasn't planning on doing meet and greets, but I was just happened to be standing in the corner where Tanya Lee was. And I saw people coming over. They're like, oh, boy, they want to talk to me. They want to talk to me. And I went to say, oh, thank you so much for coming. Thank you very much for being there. And I saw by the second person, I realized none of them wanted to talk to me. They were trying to get to Tanya Lee, and they had to walk past me to get there. They were being very, very nice. But it's humbling. It's a nice thing that used to happen all the time when I was a feature act. So that was a fun part. I haven't gotten video of the tape yet. Video of the tape, the fall. I really want the fall. The material I've all seen, but I haven't seen the fall, and I really, really want to examine that because it's very interesting to me. But that is, I think, all that I can think of on the taping. It was marvelous. Ron was extremely kind to me, got me a beautiful hotel, invited me to go out boating with him. I couldn't do it, but it was still a lovely, lovely gesture, and I had a really, really great time, and I hope I get to go back down again soon. So I hope that answers it. And Tony, you're hanging out with Tanya Lee on her birthday. Okay, that's fantastic. I'm glad we got another Tanya Lee fan here. Tell me how you first met Tanya Lee, and tell me where you're hanging out. Are you going up to Canada? Is she down in Florida now? I think she's in Florida. She lives near Sarasota. Oh, there's some stuff from Dad. Thanks, Dad. Here we go. My Thanksgiving was marvelous. Lots to eat. Andy, Micah, and his son Todd. Todd and his wife with a brand new baby. How they doing? I haven't seen Todd in 15, 20 years. I'm so glad. Micah and his son Todd Millwater. Oh boy, Todd. My first two nephews that I ever had were Todd and Troy, who were Andy's first two kids, and my first experience raising kids a little bit, sort of. I don't know. Anyway, they're all very special to me. And Troy's been on the show quite a few times. I get to see him every chance I get. Todd, I haven't seen or had any contact with at all. So it makes me very happy that somebody's talking to him and that things are going okay. Wow, this is fun. This is personal. All right. Let's see. I think that's everything. Brand new baby girl. Oh, you're going to tell me in a minute how you met Tanya Lee. I tell you what, this went wonderful. Let's spin the wheel. I'll come back. Load it on up, all right? Load up that chat. More wisdom. I don't like to do two in a row. Oh, Spring's here. Thank you, Spring. Hold on. Monologue. Let's go to the theater. I've added you guys in here. This is going to be fun. That way I can still chop this off and put it on the tickety talks, right? But you guys can still be involved over here. So that'll be fun. As a matter of fact, I'll fix it later on. We'll see how this works. But Spring, all-time County fans, said congrats on the new special taping. Thank you very much, Spring. And Tony. And that's, I think that's everybody. I think we're up to speed. Yay. John gave me an LOL. Always appreciate that. Ooh, great memories with family. That's nice to hear. Really, there's nothing in the world like being with family. It's my favorite thing in the world now. I can never get enough. All right. Let's see. Ooh, from Road Comics. Oh, my gosh. You were with her during her birthday. Oh, oh, my gosh, Road Comics. That takes me back. Let's talk about Road Comics for a minute. Road Comics is a website that sort of grew out of the alt.comedy.standup group years ago. And it was just a way for people who were on the road at the very beginning of the internet for comics to let each other know where they were going and who was booking what and all the essential information, talk about the art and the craft. I loved it, did it for many, many years. I didn't know Tony was a brother. I didn't know Tanya Lee was in there. So I'm happy to be talking about that. All right, monologue. Here we go. Nice. I was with her during her birthday. I didn't know. I should have done the research. Ooh, a monologue. Let's go do a monologue right now. I love these things. All right, let's see if I can figure this out. It's all tricky. If the camera looks shaky, it's because I'm using a whole brand new technology. But it's going to be fine. Here we go. Monologues. Who doesn't love a good monologue? See if we can't find something comedic. Here we go. DUI from Loudermilk. Can't use my hands if I do this one, but there we go. This is by Peter Farrelly and Bobby Mort. Do you realize that as I'm standing here, the earth is spinning on its axis 1,000 miles an hour? Like if I was God spinning a basketball 1,000 miles an hour. And while it's doing that, the earth is going in orbit around the sun. At guess what rate of speed? 66,000 miles an hour. 1,000 miles an hour, 66,000 miles an hour. And on top of that, the whole solar system's going through the Milky Way galaxy at guess what rate of speed? 400,000 4,000 miles an hour. 400,000 miles an hour, 66,000 miles an hour, 1,000 miles an hour. And on top of all that, what's happening? The whole Milky Way galaxy is tearing through the universe at guess what rate of speed? 2.2 trillion miles an hour. And that, officer, is why I failed to walk in a straight line as you requested a few moments ago. That's an excellent show. That's from Loudermilk. That's a great, great program. It's one of the few acting jobs that my favorite comic, Brian Regan, has had, and he is absolutely brilliant on that show. I highly recommend it. It's about sobriety, which is not for everybody, but check it out. I'm going to move me over to the right. Doesn't make any sense to do it that way. There we go. Huh? That's kind of nice. It's dramatic. We'll make it work. I like it. New rule of thirds. All right. And then these guys over here, they could definitely grow, right? So let's make that a little bigger. There you go. Easy to read. Fun for the whole family. There you are. Half and half. I think it's brilliant. Half the screen is yours, and half the screen is mine. I think it's going to work well. All right. Let's keep going let's go back to the chat. There it is. And then there's the thing for Tanya Lee. And we're up to speed. Nothing in addition to that. Nobody's added anything else to the chat since that, so let's keep it moving. Spin the wheel. Stephanie's here! Oh my goodness gracious, this is exciting. Hold on, folks. Let me spin this wheel. All right, looks like we're doing another monologue. Let's go back to the theater. I like the simplicity of this layout. I actually kind of prefer it. I'm going to move the main camera over some more. Hi, Stephanie. This is very exciting. This is a big deal to me. Let me adjust this yet again. There we go. That goes up here. Hi, brother. And featured chat. Oh, that's the wrong size, but you get the idea. Oh, there you go. Hi. I love it. Perfect. Fantastic. Nailed that one. Take that down halfway. Good, good, good. Hi, Stephanie. How you doing? Glad to see you. Dad's in here, too. Oh, Shayna's here. Hi, Shayna. He is my nephew. Yes. Who is my... Oh. Brand new baby. I don't know who. What? It's my nephew. You never can tell. The fascinating thing about this program is the lag. So by the time that your nephew comes up, I don't even know what he's talking about anymore. He's probably talking about Todd and Troy. They were my first two nephews. But Shayna says hi. Shayna's a Charlotte super fan and one of my favorite people. How you doing, Shayna? Welcome to the show. How's your week? How you feeling? I know sometimes it can be a struggle this time of year for me and my other people. I hope you're doing all right. Tell me all about your week here in the chat. I'm about to do a monologue. As I do the monologue, keep chatting things over there. Okay, here we go. Let's see how this works. Let's do letter to a friend in hospital. This is a letter to a friend in hospital by Dave Foley. Hi, just writing a letter to someone in hospital. It's always kind of hard to find the right words to say, Somehow, how's weather in hospital? Sure is nice outside, just doesn't work. But you got to try, You got to show your concern. So here's what I got so far. Dear guy I clotheslined as you went by on your bicycle. You don't know me, but I'm the guy who broke your collarbone. Now I've asked myself over and over, why'd you clothesline that guy? Perhaps I watched too much slapstick as a child and expected you to get up after being violently assaulted. Imagine my confusion when you did not, although not so confused that I'd actually hang around. In all fairness, it was pretty funny. I mean, the last thing you'd expect as you were riding merrily by on your bike is that someone you didn't know at all would stick out his arm and crush your throat. I mean, you really should have seen it. Just like, wow! Anyway. Maybe sometimes we bring heartache upon ourselves. Signed, the guy that collapsed your trachea. Hey, we got some new comments. Shayna said, how was Thanksgiving with the family? What are they up to today? Please tell them I said hello. Thank you so much for asking. Shayna is a friend of the family. She knows both my children, Charlotte and Orion, and of course my beloved wife, Debbie. As I was telling the folks here on the program earlier, Debbie and the kids and I all went down to Goldsboro, North Carolina to celebrate Thanksgiving with her sister-in-law, Laura, and her husband, Mark, and their new beautiful baby, Emma. And it was just a day full of joy. They got 2 little dogs and a baby, so the kids and I were just delighted all day just looking at babies and dogs. Babies and dogs, Thanksgiving dinner, drive, babies and dogs. What else do you want? You know what I mean? How'd you spend your Thanksgiving? I'm always curious. Hopefully, I assume several people invited you into their home. I'm just curious. And if it's none of my business, you don't have to tell me. Let's spin the wheel. Yep. I will definitely pass on your hellos. Shakespeare! Half and half. This thing happens, people. All right. Let us go to some Shakespeare. I believe we are making our way, as you folks know, through the sonnets. Now, currently, we are on sonnet number 143. No, wait. Yeah. CXLVIII. It might be 48. Yes, 148. This is This is sonnet 148 by William Shakespeare. Oh me, what eyes hath love put in my head, which have no correspondence with true sight? Or, if they have, where is my judgment fled, that censures falsely what they see aright? If that be fair whereon my false eyes dote, what means the world to say it is not so? If it be not, then love doth not well denote. Love's eye is not so true as all men's know. How can it? How can love's eye be true, that is so vexed with watching and with tears? No marvel then, though I mistake my view, the sun itself sees not till heaven clears. Oh, cunning love, with tears thou keep'st me blind, lest eyes well seeing thy foul faults should find. Fun. All right, let's spin the wheel. Oh, hey. John said something nice. There it is. He said, awesome. Hello to the Millwaters. I will definitely pass that on, John. Thank you very much. All right, let's spin the wheel. Let us sing a song. Back to the theater. See if I can't find something cheerful for these folks. I'm in a cheerful mood. Let's see. Oh, that's a good one. No. Let's see. Nice work if you can get it. Holding hands at midnight, 'neath a starry sky. Whoop, I forgot. Whoop, wrong button. Holding hands at midnight, 'neath the starry sky. Nice work if you can get it, and you can get it if you try. Strolling with the one girl, sighing sigh after sigh. Nice work if you can get it, and you can get it if you try. Just imagine someone waiting at the cottage door, where two hearts become one. Who could ask for anything more? Loving one who loves you, and then taking that vow. Nice work if you can get it, and if you get it, won't you tell me how? Just imagine someone waiting at the cottage door, where two hearts become one. Who could ask for anything more? Loving one who loves you, and then taking that vow. Nice work if you can get it, and if you get it, won't you tell me how? Yeah, short. I like that one. Wait, I'm wrong. He is your brother's. Oh, wait, here, hold on. He said, I stayed in my pajamas and didn't leave my house. Oh, which kind of a bummer at first, but I tried to make the most of it. And, well, I wasn't done yet. Try to be the most of it, enjoy some alone time and being a lazy couch potato. Nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with a little time for yourself to recenter and celebrate your love for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. She's doing great. She spent Thanksgiving with her bestie and her friends. We got Stephanie and Dad in the same chat. Very, very exciting. Stephanie, as many of you know, is my sister. Dad is my father. Dad is also her father. She's got a different mother. Dad set up three franchises that we know of, so it's pretty exciting. Stephanie's here, and if you're a regular watcher, you've met Kim and also Andy every now and then. So glad to see you. Let's spin the wheel. Back to another we just did 2 monologues already. Come on. One more of these and I'm going to call an audible. I've decided to give myself vetoes, right? It's my show. So every now and then, I'll just veto. I'll tag it one way or the other. Ask me anything. As you know, we have an open Ask Me Anything policy here on the program. Anything you guys want to know, type it into the chat and I will answer it eventually. Bit of a lag, I'm told. Shakespeare, just all right. I'm calling an audible. We're doing, what's that one on the right there? Story. That's too long. I'm telling you a joke. We're going to the jokes, to the comedy club. Hey, and then the main camera, that's me. We're going to ease me over this way. Nice. Maybe a little bit smaller. Ease. Nice. Okay, here's a joke for you. I'm very excited about this because my dad chose this joke. He told me this joke. Here we go. There's an old man. He's lying on his deathbed. And he looks up and he sees his daughter standing there. And he says, my darling, is everyone here? And she says, yes, Father, everyone's here. She says, is your brother here? Is your mother here in the room with us? She says, yes, Dad, they're here. What about the grandkids? Are the grandkids all in here? Are you all here? She says, yes, Granddad, we're all here. We're all here. And he says, well, then why is the light on in the damn kitchen? That's an official first-generation dad joke. My dad told me that joke. Let's hear it from my dad. Whoop, he's over there. Let's hear it from my dad. Let's spin the wheel. Why is the light on in the damn kitchen? That's fun. Keep it moving? You're right. All right. Big families and all franchises rock, and it's that kind of positivity that makes this country great. Was the fall real or pratfall? Thank you very much for asking, Tony. It was 100% real. It was so good the host thought it was a pratfall. But I like setting myself up as a challenge to lose the audience as much as the next guy, but no, I don't do, no. That was not a pratfall. That'd be a bad time for a pratfall. They have to know you before you do the pratfall. If I understand it correctly, I would have to come out and go, hello, ladies and gentlemen, I am the funniest man in the entire world, and I'm here to teach you the sit down. Then it'd be funny, right? I got to be up high to fall low. But if it's a stranger, they were just concerned. Just a lot of concerned gasps. That's all I really want. As the fella said, laughs are cheap. Gasps are where it's at. All right, let's spin the wheel. You know, pratfalls are named after John Pratt. Interesting fact. Might be made up. No way to tell. Sounds like that. Oh, yes, I did hurt myself. Thank you, Shane. Poem. Let's go to the poetry corner. Sounds like Dad. And then Shana said, did I hurt myself? Yes, Shana. Yes, I hurt myself. I cut open my right knee, and it was bleeding the entire show. But I did not feel the pain because I was on stage. How about that? It's pretty neat if you ask me. I'm going to scooch myself over on this screen. Here we go. Huh? Nice? Nice. I like the fireplace. That's good. And let's make the Facebook chat a little bigger. Okay. Very nice. Now we got a half and half thing going. And sounds like Dad. Either the voice or me falling down. True professional. It says, it's amazing you were able to pull it off after the fall. It didn't throw me off my game. A true professional. You know, I've had worse. I've performed with terrible flus. I've for lack of a better term, shit my pants on stage. I've thrown up on stage. I've had worse problems, but I've never had complete and total denial. You call me a true professional, and I appreciate that, but it was just pushed directly out of my mind. It was amazing. All right, let's do a poem. I love reading poetry. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it first. Uh-oh. Give me the business. There it is. No, monologues. Poems. Hey, I want to ask you guys if you have any favorite poems, because I like to read people's favorite poems too. So let us read I Am Not Yours by Sarah Teasdale. It's a lovely book. Get my fancy voice on. Here we go. Oh. Let me take a quick look. Yeah, that looks nice. There we go. I have shit my pants on stage. Yes, I've been on stage thousands and thousands of times, and a couple of them I've been very sick and traveling. Kentucky, as a matter of fact, yes, where that happened. Little shout out to the home state of my sister-in-law. All right, my half-sister, excuse me, my sister. Here we go. Poetry. I lost it. I had it, and then I lost it. There it is. This is I Am Not Yours by Sarah Teasdale. I am not yours, not lost in you, not lost, although I long to be lost as a candle lit at noon, lost as a snowflake in the sea. You love me, and I find you still a spirit, beautiful and bright, yet I am I who long to be lost, as a light is lost in light. Plunge me deep in love, put out my senses, leave me deaf and blind, swept by the tempest of your love, a taper in a rushing wind. Love it. Oh boy, all right, let's go back to the chat, shall we? It was near the end. It was during my closer, Shana, so you needn't worry. Stephanie says that the joke, me falling, and I sound like Dad too. Yes, I am very, yes, I sound very much like my father. Your favorite poem is The Raven. Perfect, I got that one. That's one of my favorites too. I will do that one next. I did it on a Halloween show a couple weeks ago. I never get sick of it. It's a beautiful song, a beautiful poem. We'll do that next. Let's do it right now. Let's go to the Poetry Corner. Let's see, Jabberwocky, Road Not Taken, Annabelle Lee, The Bells, Raven, boom! Wait for atmosphere. All right. Here we go. You feel the suspense? Yeah. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore. While I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this, nothing more." Distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore, nameless here, forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor, entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor, entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly, your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I was scarce sure I heard you." Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there. Nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering. Long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word. This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word. Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. "Though thy crest be shorn or shaven, thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly, grim, and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculpted bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, "Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before." Then the bird said, "Nevermore." Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, "Doubtless," said I, "what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore of nevermore." But the raven, still beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then, upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy into fancy. This ominous bird of yore, what a grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, an ominous bird of yore meant in croaking, nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloated o'er she shall press nevermore. Then, methought, the air grew denser, perfumed from some unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. "Wretch!" I cried, "thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee respite, respite and nepenthe from these memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." "Prophet," said I, "thing of evil, prophet still of bird or devil, whether tempest sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." "Prophet," said I, "thing of evil, prophet still of bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aidenn it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." "Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend," I shrieked, upstarting, "get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken, with the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. It's a good one. One of my favorite, too. Do I do Bed-Stuy? Oh, love the raven. Good choices. All right. Hey, Ron Feingold's here. Oh, this is exciting. Hold on there. Let me go back to the main chat. Very, very exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ron Feingold says, "Hi, Johnny. I was telling you about Ron earlier on. He's the guy who runs things out in Sarasota. He is the producer of Open Bar Comedy, ladies and gentlemen, and we're very excited to have him here on the show. He was the guy who was kind enough to invite me to tape it. Thank you, Ron. I just spent the last several minutes singing your praises. You'll have to rewind the thing to watch it. Dad had something nice to say? Hope you're doing well, by the way, Ron. It's nice. It was wonderful to see you. I don't mean to shove you off to the side there. It was really great to see you in Sarasota. I had a wonderful, joyful time, and I sincerely hope I get to see you back down there again sometime soon. I got 2 more half hours of material for sure. 3 if I spend some time on it. Let's find out. Ooh, Kim's here too. This is very exciting. All right. Shayna said, "Do I do bedtime story time with my kids? I'd be so good at it." I would love to. They will not let me. I swear. They won't let me play any instruments for them, and they won't let me read to them, even when they were babies. Orion, when he was a baby, I would read to him, the Princess Bride and all the stories and the Shel Silverstein, and he would cry and yell until I stopped. Charlotte did the exact same thing, cry and yell until I stopped, and so I don't read to the kids. Occasionally now, they're older, and they have, they're doing their own projects, so occasionally I get to read with them, but I don't read to them. It's one of the reasons I like doing this so much. It gives me a chance to do it because I really enjoy reading. Thank you for asking. Tony has to say, "Very well done, my friend. Thank you for calling me friend." Kim, hey, good morning, family. Kimmy's here. Kim's here. Stephanie's here. Dad's here all at the same time. It's a very exciting reunion. This is not something you get to see often. He'd be great at reading audiobooks. I would absolutely love to read audiobooks. As soon as I am confident in my abilities, and I'm getting more confident with each passing stream, I will try to find an agent and actually do it for a living, do some voiceover stuff, and use this time for training. Oh, wow. This is so exciting. For those of you who don't know, let's see. I know that Dad is in Tampa, Florida. Stephanie says hi. She's in Kentucky. And then Kim, goodness knows where Kim is. She could be anywhere in the world. She is a top entertainer with Carnival Cruise Lines. She's a jet setter for decades. She could be anywhere. She's probably in Europe or someplace cool like that. Or Freeport. You never can tell, right? Where are you, Kim? Wonder where Kim is. Oh, that's good. This is all going so well. Everybody stop typing. All right, fine. That was exciting, though. Nice to see a reunion. Say hi to each other. Let's keep spinning the wheel. Oh, this is fun. Daddy! See, all right, so Kim's here. So let's give you a little bit of backstory. I talked a little bit about the franchises. Let's see. Kim lived with Dad, I believe, when I was born. She lived with him in Iran, which has never been fully explained to me, but that's fine. I was born in the country of Iran. Now I got people watching, the NSA. But anyway, she was there, and then she lived with us until she turned 18 back in Florida, and then she moved to Orlando, and then she moved all over the country and all over the world doing stand-up comedy. I think that's up to speed. All right, the chat's going a little bit slow. Let's spin the wheel. Wisdom. Oh, I love to learn wisdom. Let's head on down. Lay down some wisdom from on high. Oh, this is a good one. Be patient towards all that is unsolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves, like locked rooms and like books that are now written in a very foreign tongue. Do not seek the answers which cannot be given you because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps you will then gradually, without noticing it, live along some distant day into the answer. That's wisdom from Rainer Maria Rilke. Nice. Carnival Freedom. Oh, she's got the 24 hours on the internet. Carnival Freedom, one of the rare. The Freedom's not fantasy class. We all end up in Freeport eventually. How true that is. Monologue. Let's go to the theme. Let's do Career Day from City Slickers. Imagine, if you will, a man in his mid-40s. Oh my God, that's me. A man in his mid-40s. He is standing at the front of a children's classroom on Career Day and explaining to them what he does for a living. Value this time in your life, kids, because this is the time in your life when you still have your choices. It goes by so fast. When you're a teenager, you think you can do anything, and you do. Your 20s are a blur. 30s, you raise your family, you make a little money, and you think to yourself, what happened in my 20s? 40s, you grow a little pot belly, you grow another chin. The music starts to get too loud. One of your old girlfriends from high school becomes a grandmother. 50s, you have a minor surgery. You'll call it a procedure, but it's a surgery. 60s, you'll have a major surgery. The music is still loud, but it doesn't matter because you can't hear it anyway. 70s, you and the wife retire to Fort Lauderdale. You start eating dinner at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You have lunch around 10, breakfast the night before. You spend most of your time wandering around malls, looking for the ultimate soft yogurt and muttering, how come the kids don't call? How come the kids don't call? The 80s, you'll have a major stroke. You end up babbling to some Jamaican nurse who your wife can't stand, but you call mama. Any questions? Nice. We all end up in Freeport eventually. That should be their slogan. Write that in Latin. All right. Let's go back to the wheel then. See, done wisdom, haven't done any riddles, done monologues, haven't talked about my feelings, but I've done enough of that. Short story, haven't got one of those picked out yet. Roses and thorns. Oh, good, I love this. That's me. Yay. Roses and thorns. Back to the chat. Roses and thorns is one of my favorite things that I do with my family. My new family, my old family, we didn't do it. When I said, like my dad, we didn't do this at the dinner table, but I heard it on a podcast, so I do it with my kids at the dinner table, and it's really nice. It's roses and thorns. It's where you talk about your day, you talk about your roses. These are the cool things that happened that I remember, and your thorns, the not so cool things. Let's figure it out. The roses, I got to be with my family for Thanksgiving. I got to talk to Dad on the phone. I got to see my brother, not my brother, my son, on his birthday. It was his birthday the day after Thanksgiving, so we got to have daddy-son breakfast and sit and talk about life and what it's like to be a 14-year-old, and that made me profoundly happy. My thorns, and please put yours in the chat. Put your roses and thorns in the chat, and we'll discuss them. My thorn was to celebrate his birthday. His mom selected a couple of things that I couldn't get myself to go with him. She wanted to go do indoor sledding in a stadium, which is very triggering to me because of a bad sledding incident. As a young man, you probably remember Mom getting hurt up in, I think it was Michigan. So I'm always worried about sledding. And also it's indoors, and also it's a ton of people. And I just don't feel good. I can't enjoy myself surrounded by a ton of people unless I'm on stage. And then later in the day, she decided to take him to Winterfest, which is at a theme park. And I also couldn't be talked into going. It's just too much waiting in line and people around, and I just wouldn't enjoy it, and I wouldn't be any fun to be around. So missing those two things and not being able to be a part of the full, I was invited, don't get me wrong, but not being able to be a part of the full experience for my son's birthday, you know. Oh, Shanna has something to say. Yay. Oh, okay, let's talk about this for a second. Ryan Van Genderen has recently confirmed that he'll be making a return to the comedy stage very soon. It's in writing, so it's official. You know, I never thought he left. I think he just stepped back for a little while. I can't give me details. Tell me more. Ryan Van Genderen is a former student of mine. He's a friend of mine. I introduced him to his wife. For those of you who don't know, he's a very, very, very funny man, but he's had 2 beautiful babies, and since then he hasn't been on the road too much, and I completely understand that choice. I'm doing it myself. So, but the word is that he's going to be back in, so I want to hear all about it. If you live in Charlotte, North Carolina, keep an eye out for Ryan Van Genderen. Nobody is funnier than RVG. We love that man. All right. I don't know where he said it. Did he say it on one of your social media posts or something? Put it in writing. That's pretty exciting. Didn't mean to rhyme that. Roses and thorns. I'm going to count that as a rose. That's a rose. All right. We'll be right back with your roses and thorns after these words. Another song. All right, then. Let us go to the theater. We'll sing a song. Find something simple and fun. Joyful. Joyful. Here we go. Oh, here we go. The Way You Look Tonight. Love that one. Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you and the way you look tonight. Yes, you're lovely, with your smile so warm, and your cheeks so soft. There is nothing for me but to love you, and the way you look tonight. With each word your tenderness grows, tearing my fears apart. And that laugh that wrinkles your nose touches my foolish heart. Lovely, never ever change. Keep that breathless charm. Won't you please arrange it? 'Cause I love you just the way you look tonight. Lovely. I love that song. All right. Nothing new in the chat. Let's spin the wheel. Now, Dad said that is gospel. I'm not sure what he meant. Zen Cohen. Let us head to the comedy club. Nah, let's do the campfire. Hold on. I can fix this. We're doing half and half now. All right, campfire intro, main camera. Darker. Wonder why my hair's going up on that side. Probably the headphones. All right. We are now doing Zen Cohen. We had just finished all the way through, so we are now on the Zen Cohen number 3, ladies and gentlemen. No, number 4. This is Zen Cohen number 4, Obedience. The Master Benkai's talks were not attended, not only by Zen students, but by persons of all ranks and sects. He never quoted sutras, nor indulged in scholastic dissertations. Instead, his words were spoken directly from the heart and the hearts of his listeners. His large audience angered a priest of the Nichiren sect because the adherents had left to hear about Zen. The self-centered Nichiren priest came to the temple, determined to have a debate with Benkai. "Hey, Zen teacher," he called out. "Wait a minute. Whoever respects you will obey what you say, but a man like myself does not respect you. Can you make me obey you?" "Come up beside me and I will show you," said Benkai. Proudly, the priest pushed his way through the crowd to the teacher. Benkai smiled. "Come over to my left side." The priest obeyed. No, said Benkai. "We may talk better if you are on the right side. Step over there." The priest proudly stepped over to the right. "You see," observed Benkai, "you are obeying me, and I think you are a very gentle person. Now, sit down and listen." "Yeah, Zen burn." All right, then, back to the chat. Here we go. Now, Shayna says that she had been bugging Ryan Van Genderen about it on social media, and I guess he got tired of me bugging him and finally caved in. Well, that's one way to get it done, I suppose. Constant inspiration. It's not a bad way to go. Really, sometimes all it takes is knowing one person cares. So that's very sweet. I'm glad you convinced him because he's brilliant. He should be working, and he should show everybody else how it's done. He's a good example and a good man. Good comic. Good man. Miss you, Ryan. All right. Let's spin the wheel. Don't forget to post your roses and thorns. Uh-oh. The wheel's giving me the business. Looks like I'm going to have to choose one manually. That's weird. I didn't know it did that. All right. I am going to a poem. I like poems. Back to the poetry corner. Let's go to poems. There you go. Let's do something's gone wrong with my screen. Excuse me for a moment. We look over here. Ooh, Shayna says you've been bugging him finally. Okay, all right, we're back. I don't understand why things have gone wrong. But there it is. All right, let us read. Must have a bad internet connection or something. Here you go. Let us read Lines on Ale. Here's some more Edgar Allan Poe. This is Lines on Ale. It's one of Edgar Allan Poe's lesser-known poems, and it's about ale. Perhaps you're interested in beer or ale. Here's a poem for those of us who are. Lines called... I'm stalling. Can you tell I'm stalling? I think you're going to enjoy it very much. Takes a minute to load. This. It didn't work. It went to the wrong poem. This is embarrassing, folks. I guess we'll never do Lines on Ale. I guess we'll... Oh, there it is. Lines on Ale. Edgar Allan Poe. Boom. This is Lines on Ale by Edgar Allan Poe. Filled with mingled cream and amber, I will drain that glass again. Such hilarious visions clamor through the chamber of my brain. Quaintest thoughts, queerest fancies come to life and fade away. What care I how time advances? I am drinking ale today. I believe he died of alcohol poisoning. Neither here nor there. Let's spin the wheel. Got a new question from Tony. Ooh, Shakespeare. Let's head to the Shakespeare station. Here we go. Tony was kind enough to ask me, what does your 2024 schedule look like? And is Harrisburg anywhere on it? My 2024 schedule is completely unbooked. I am not looking for work actively. I am accepting most of the work that comes with a hotel and is within 4 hours of Charlotte, North Carolina. I might go up to Harrisburg because my kids love Hummelstown, and I have family who lives up in Hummelstown. My cousin Tracy lives up there. And if I do, I'll be the first one to tell you. It's on the maybe pile. If I get it booked, we'll do it. How about that? Other than that, though, I got nothing on the books for 2024. Not one thing. I am chilling out with my kids and playing video games. Thanks for asking. And reciting Shakespeare for no particular reason. Let's do that right now. I've got one picked out for you. I believe this is from Anthony and Cleopatra. Actually, no, this is... Here we go. Virginity being blown down, man will quickly or be blown up. Marry, in blowing them down again within the breach ourselves made, you lose your city. It is not politic in the commonwealth of nature to preserve virginity. Loss of virginity is rational increase. And there was never virgin got till virginity was first lost. That you were made of is metal to make virgins. Virginity, by being once lost, may be 10 times found. By being ever kept, it is ever lost. 'Tis too cold a companion. Away with it. There little can be said in't. 'Tis against the rule of nature. To speak on the part of virginity is to accuse your mothers, which is most infallible disobedience. He that hangs himself is a virgin. Virginity murthers itself, and should be buried in highways out of all sanctified limit as a desperate offendress against nature. Virginity breeds mites, much like a cheese, consumes itself to the very paring, and so dies with feeding his own stomach. Besides, virginity is peevish, proud, idle, made of self-love, which is the most inhibited sin in the canon. Keep it not. You cannot choose but lose by it. Out with it. With a year, it'll make itself two, which is a goodly increase, and the principle itself not much the worse. Away with it. That's from Measure for Measure, Act 1, Scene 1. Fun. All right. Oh, wrong button. Thanks for your question, Tony. Spin the wheel. Then Cohen did a joke. More wisdom. Can't get enough. The fundamental cause of all the trouble in the world today is that the stupid are cocksure, while the intelligent remain full of doubt. That's wisdom from Bertrand Russell. What fun is there telling people they're going to hell if they don't believe in it? That's wisdom from Stephen Colbert. If you wish to experience peace, provide peace for another. That's from Tenzin Gyatso. His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. See if I can't learn something. All right, let's spin the wheel. Feelings. All right, let's talk about our feelings. Let me check real quick. We got one person watching, and welcome to you. I hope it's somebody I know. Well, you never can tell. Sometimes it tells you the number of viewers. It doesn't matter. I shouldn't be thinking about viewers anyway. But hey, I'm talking about my feelings, aren't I? And sometimes, not today. Today's been great. Today's been for me, a lot of viewers, and they're all people I care about, and that's nice. Talking to each other, catching up, that's exciting. But I do wonder how to get strangers in there, if there's anybody out there who's into the same stuff I'm into. You know what I mean? So that's that feeling. The show was all right. I did really well at the taping, but I also, besides the pride and the excitement and the gratitude and the just sort of a wide-eyed, hey, this is great feeling the whole time that I was there, I was kind of ashamed of my material, kind of older. It's much older than the material that I did for the taping, and it's really devoid of content. It's funny, but it's devoid of content, and that bothered me a little bit. Made me kind of sad not be able to spend the birthday party, well, the birthday total celebration with my son, but that's not his fault or anybody else's. That's my own fault for being bad around crowds. And I'm very excited to have a week home and see all my old friends. I'm going to have a whole bunch of lunches this week and see a whole bunch of people I wanted to catch up with who I haven't had a chance to catch up with yet. So that's me. What about you? What are you guys feeling? Type it in the chat. I'll spin the wheel. Calling an audible. No more Shakespeare. Never did 2 Shakespeares in a row. Shayna's still here. Yay! Shayna asked a question. I will answer it right after this. Poem. I'm calling this a poem. Poem. Shayna asked me, did you make... Oh, what is this about? There we go. What's that plus sign? I don't care for that. Shayna asked, did you make a new album with the taping? It's not exactly a new album, but it's a new recording. It's a video recording of some of the older stuff from Overkill, my original album. And it's going to be I didn't make an audio recording. I didn't really feel the need because most of that material had already been audio recorded. So it's just going to be my new special available on Open Bar Comedy. And it's called Mostly Joking. All right. Let us do a poem. See if I can find one first. Thanks for asking, Shayna. You're always so much help. Let's see. Poems. Find something cheerful. Let's do some Shel. Shel Silverstein, ladies and gentlemen. Who doesn't love Shel Silverstein? Oh, forgot this part. Here we go. All right. This is the fun part. This is Listen to the Mussins by Shel Silverstein. Listen to the mussins, child. Listen to the don'ts. Listen to the shouldn'ts, the impossibles, the won'ts. Listen to the never-haves, then lost close to me. Anything can happen, child. Anything can be. This is Masks by Shel Silverstein. She had blue skin, and so did he. He kept it hid, and so did she. They searched for blue their whole life through, then passed right by and never knew. One more. This is Pancake by Shel Silverstein. Who wants a pancake, sweet and piping hot? Good little Grace looks up and says, I'll take the one on top. Who else wants a pancake fresh off the griddle? Terrible Teresa smiles and says, I'll take the one in the middle. Terrible. That terrible Teresa. One more. This is Snowball from Falling Up. This is Snowball by Shel Silverstein. I made myself a snowball as perfect as could be. I thought I'd keep it as a pet and let it sleep with me. I made it some pajamas and a pillow for its head. Then last night it ran away. But first, it wet the bed. Won't be using that one. Yay! Oh, we got new comments from Dad. Hold on, I'm going to the chalet. Dad says he's excited to wake up, and he also does not like crowds. All right, I can big that. Maybe that's where I get it from. Tony says, I'm with this guy, right? I forget which guy you're talking about. There's a bit of a lag. And Shayna said, I enjoyed listening to your albums on Spotify. Thank you very, very much, Shayna. That gives me a chance to plug my albums, Overkill and Smile Noise. Hey, Shayna, you may not know this, and this is perfect because the microphone happens to be right here. The reason my second album is called Smile Noise is because when I smile, I often get air trapped in the corner of my mouth, and it makes a little noise like this. That's my smile noise. There it is, smile noise. Something that Debbie fell in love with, and every time I do it, she says, smile noise, and it makes me happy. There we go. All right. Let's spin the wheel. Ask me anything. Open policy. Weird. Don't do that, wheel. I forgot I should have nudged it. Tony said just nudge it. Just give it a nudge feature. Nobody cares. Tony's right. No more respinning. Monologue. Excellent choice. Let's do that now. Give the theater. I love doing monologues. Here we go. This is The Watch from Pulp Fiction. Hello, little man. Boy, I sure heard a bunch about you. See, I was a good friend of your dad's. We were in that Hanoi pit of hell together over 5 years. Hopefully, you'll never have to experience this yourself, but when two men are in a situation like me and your dad were for as long as we were, you take on certain responsibilities of the other. If it had been me that had not make it, Major Coolidge be talking right now to my son, Jim. But the way it turned out, I'm talking to you. Butch, I got something for you. This watch I got here was first purchased by your great-grandfather during the First World War. It was bought in a little general store in Knoxville, Tennessee. It was made by the first company to make wristwatches. Up till then, people just carried pocket watches. It was bought by doughboy Private Aaron Coolidge on the day he set sail for Paris. This was your great-grandfather's war watch, and he wore it every day he was in that war. And when he'd done his duty, he went home to your great-grandmother, took the watch off, put it on an old coffee can, and in that can it sat until your granddad, Dane Coolidge, was called upon his country to go overseas and fight the Germans once again. This time they called it World War II. Your great-grandfather gave this watch to your granddad for good luck. Unfortunately, Dane's luck wasn't as good as his old man's. Dane was a Marine, and he was killed, along with all the other Marines, at the Battle of Wake Island. Your granddad was facing death. He knew it. None of those boys had any illusions about ever leaving that island alive, so 3 days before the Japanese took the island, your granddad asked a gunner on an Air Force transport, named of Winaki, a man he had never met before in his life, to deliver to his infant son, who he'd never seen in the flesh, his gold watch. 3 days later, your granddad was dead. But Winaki kept his word. After the war was over, he paid a visit to your grandmother, delivering to your infant father his dad's gold watch. This watch. This watch was on your daddy's wrist when he was shot down over Hanoi. He was captured, put in a Vietnamese prison camp. He knew that if the Gooks ever saw the watch, he'd be confiscated and taken away. The way your dad looked at it, this watch was your birthright. He'd be damned if any slope's going to put his greasy yellow hands on his boy's birthright. So he did in one place he knew he could hid something. his ass. 5 long years he wore this watch up his ass. Then he died of dysentery, give me the watch. I hid this uncomfortable hunk of metal up my ass 2 years. Then, after 7 years, I was sent home to my family. Now, little man, I give the watch to you. That's a good one. Ooh, nice. Smile noise is the scariest thing I've even seen heard. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't mean for it to, I thought it was kind of sweet. Not everybody's a fan of the smile noise. My wife likes it, and that's all I'm truly interested in at this point. Anti-smile noise. Good to know. Good album, though. You got to check it out on Spotify. Spin the wheel. Last chance to submit your questions. Here we go, spinning the wheel. The wheel's giving me the business, so I am going to call an audible. We are going to joke. Let us tell a joke. Let's see if I can remember another joke. Forget it. I'll just tell him. Let's see. Here's a classic. I love this one. Man goes into a bar and he drinks too much. He throws up all over himself. And he says to the bartender, "Oh my God, I threw up all over myself. My wife's going to kill me." Bartender says, "No, listen, here's what you do. You take a $10 bill, you put it in your shirt pocket. You tell your wife somebody else threw up on your shirt, gave you $10 to get it fixed." The guy says, "Oh my God, this is brilliant. I'm going to do that." So he goes home and he walks in and his wife sees him throwing up all over himself. She said, "Look at you, you disgusting pig. You threw up all over your shirt." And he says, "No, you listen to me." Takes a $20 bill out of his pocket. He says, "Somebody else threw up on my shirt and they gave me $10 to get it washed." His wife says, "That's a 20. The guy says, "I also shit my pants." "He also shit my pants." "Ah, boo. He also shit my... He also shit my... So close. So close. Monologue. Definitely doesn't like crowds either. None of us do. I wonder why. Wonder what set that up. I need to fix that because that's covering up too much of my face. Can't have that. I'm making clips out of this for the tickety-tock. Follow me on TikTok if you're on TikTok. I'm under Johnny Millwater. All right, let's see. Featured chat. Smaller. Small. How's he doing that? What? That doesn't even make sense. He must be some kind of... There we go. Some kind of wizard or something. All right. We are doing a monologue. Love monologues. Here's one from Just a Ride by Bill Hicks. One of my all-time favorites. This is Just a Ride by Bill Hicks. The world is like a ride in an amusement park. And when you go, you choose to... The world is like a ride in an amusement park. And when you choose to go on it, you think it's real because that's how powerful our minds are. And the ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us and they say, hey, don't worry. Don't be afraid, ever. Because this is just a ride. And we kill those people. Ha ha, shut him up. We have a lot invested in this ride. Shut him up. Look at my furrows of worry. Look at my big bank account, my family. This just has to be real. It's just a ride. But we will always kill those good guys who try and tell us that. You ever notice that? And let the demons run amok? But it doesn't matter because it's just a ride. And we can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice. No effort, no work, no job, no savings of money. A choice right now between fear and love. The eyes of fear want you to put bigger locks on your doors, buy guns, close yourself off. The eyes of love instead see all of us as one. Here's what we can do to change the world right now to a better ride. Take all that money we spend on weapons and defense each year and instead spend it feeding, clothing, and educating the poor of the world, which it would many times over, not one human being excluded. And we can explore space together, both inner and outer, forever in peace. Nice. That's by the brilliant Bill Hicks. Close, almost at it. All right, back to the chat. Well, folks, it's about that time. Let's see, it's 12:27, so that means it's time. I got my writing group at 12:30. Hope to see you next Sunday. Don't forget to send in your requests for poems and what have you. Thanks for watching. Let's go back to the main desk. Keep on forgetting to turn that off. Appreciate everybody watching. I hope to see you again next week. Like I said, take care of yourself, take care of somebody else. And remember, the only way to save this country is for all of us to love one another. So love yourself first, then love somebody else. Then, if you can, love everybody. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep shining through, just like you always do, and the blue skies will push the dark clouds far away. And would you please say hello to the folks that I know and tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Thanks for watching. Till next time, be good, but not too good. Bye-bye.